In a village where prophecies and secrets intertwine, one woman's search for love sets off a chain of events that could either unite or destroy her people. Will the truth bring peace, or will it tear everything apart? Follow Layla's journey, where destiny, betrayal, and the fight for power collide in a battle that will change the village and its future forever. In a village where the sky kissed the earth and traditions were as old as the whispering baobab trees, there lived a woman named Layla. Layla was captivating, with eyes as deep as the night sky and a laugh that could soften even the sternest elder. Despite her charm and beauty, she remained unmarried. Tired of her solitude and eager to find a husband, Layla sought the counsel of the oracle, an elderly woman named Zara, who could communicate with the spirits of the ancestors. In her herb-scented hut, Zara spoke, "Child, your destiny is unlike any other. The man who fathers your child will become the ruler of this village, and his reign will bring unparalleled prosperity." Intrigued and determined, Layla hatched a bold plan. She would spend time with every eligible man in the village, reasoning that this would not only help her find her destined husband, but also secure a future leader for her people. Weeks passed, and soon the village buzzed with rumors. Layla's unconventional search for a husband became the topic of every conversation. Eventually, Layla found herself pregnant, her belly round with life, a living testament to the prophecy. As her due date drew near, tension filled the air. Each family with an eligible son claimed the unborn child as their own, hoping to secure the future leadership of the village. When Layla finally gave birth to a healthy boy, the village celebrated, but the next question loomed large. Who was the father of the child destined to rule? The elders gathered, and whispers filled the air. Every man wanted a test, and the village stood on the brink of civil war. But Layla remained calm, confident that the prophecy would not fail her or her people. Holding her son, whom she named Omar, meaning the one who brings change, Layla waited for the revelation that would shape the future of the village. A week passed, and the village elders convened under the ancient baobab tree. Zara, the oracle, stepped forward. "I have spoken with the ancestors," she said, her voice carrying a mystical melody. "They have given us a test, one that will reveal not only the father but the true leader of our people." The test would take each man to the sacred mountain, where a moonstone rested at the peak, imbued with the wisdom of the ancestors. The man who returned with this stone would be deemed the true father and destined ruler. A collective gasp filled the air, for the sacred mountain was fraught with peril. Wild beasts, treacherous paths, and spiritual trials awaited. But the elders knew there was no other way. The following day, 6 men stood in the village square, each claiming the unborn child as his own. Layla, holding her son close, silently wished them the best. With the beat of drums and the sound of a horn, the journey began. The men carried offerings and sacred amulets as they set out on their perilous trek. The path was filled with rivers, whispering forests, and caves haunted by forgotten souls. But the real test lay at the foot of the sacred mountain, where an altar stood inscribed with ancient runes. As the men approached the altar, a voice echoed, "Offer what you value most, and you may proceed." One by one, the men presented their valuables, gold, heirlooms, and sacred objects. But nothing happened. The path to the peak remained closed. Then came Lamin's turn. Known for his wisdom and humility, Lamin did not offer wealth. Instead, he knelt and prayed for the village, for Layla, and for future generations. At his words, the altar glowed with a soft light, and the path to the peak opened. The men followed Lamin up the sacred mountain, where every step seemed to blur the line between the earthly and divine. As they reached the peak, the moonstone pulsed with a radiant glow, and a celestial voice declared, "Lamin, son of Idris, you are the true father of Omar and the destined leader of our village." Overwhelmed, Lamin fell to his knees. The other men, humbled by the revelation, followed him down the mountain. When they returned, the village gathered, and Lamin stepped forward, holding the moonstone high. "The ancestors have spoken," he declared. "I am Omar's father, and it is my destiny to lead." A cheer erupted from the crowd, and Layla, holding Omar, met Lamin's gaze. A silent understanding passed between them, marking the beginning of a new chapter for the village. The village celebrated, and Layla knew that raising a child destined for greatness was only the beginning. With the moonstone's power and the wisdom of the ancestors, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Months passed, and prosperity flourished in the village. But one evening, as Layla nursed Omar, she overheard a conversation from behind a baobab tree. "You've done well, Lamin," said Zara, her voice low, "but we have deceived the people. The child you raised is not truly yours." Lamin's voice trembled with guilt. "But I will be a wise ruler, won't I?" Layla's heart sank. She had been deceived, but she knew the truth needed to come to light. With a new resolve, she set out to expose the conspiracy. Under the cover of night, Layla journeyed to the hermit sage, deep in the ebony forest, hoping to uncover the truth behind the moonstone. The hermit sage, wise and old, revealed a ritual to cleanse the moonstone of deception. Layla returned to the village, her heart heavy with the knowledge that the truth would soon be revealed. On the night of the new moon, she held the moonstone before the village and announced that the true father of Omar would reveal himself. One by one, the men came forward, but the stone remained dark. Finally, when Lamin held the stone, it flickered briefly before dimming, and the crowd gasped. Zara stepped forward and said, "The stone speaks not to the hands that hold it, but to the eyes that meet it." Layla met Lamina's gaze, and the stone went dark. The village knew then that Lamin was not the true father. The revelation shook the village to its core. But from the back of the crowd, a voice cried out, and the waters of the river of truth turned golden when Mazi, a quiet and humble man, dipped his hand into the river. He was revealed as Omar's true father. Mazi, a reclusive man known for his wisdom, stepped forward and took his place beside Layla and Omar. The village, once in turmoil, now found peace. Mazi vowed to raise Omar with the integrity and wisdom the village needed. As the village gathered, the council of elders met to discuss the fate of Lamine and Zara. They were stripped of their titles, forced to atone for their deceit. The village, though shaken, emerged stronger, united in truth and humility. In the end, Omar's reign began with honesty and respect, and the village prospered under his leadership. Layla, Mazi, and Omar stood at the threshold of a new era, one founded on the enduring power of truth. And as the village flourished, they knew that the path to greatness was often fraught with trials, but it was always worth walking. As the days turned into weeks, the village that had once been divided by deceit began to heal. Mazi's leadership was guided not only by the wisdom of the elders, but also by the fresh understanding that true power came from within, a balance of strength, humility, and compassion. The people had seen the chaos that arose from lies and manipulation, and now, under Mazi's rule, they were determined to honor the values that truly mattered. Layla, once burdened by the weight of betrayal, now found peace in the new beginning. Her son, Omar, grew up surrounded by love, respect, and the lessons of truth that would shape him into the future leader he was destined to become. Mazi, though quietly humble, was a pillar of support for both Layla and the village, his dedication to the well-being of his people shining through every decision he made. The village's prosperity continued to grow. Crops flourished in the fertile soil. The rivers ran with clear, abundant water, and trade with neighboring communities began to increase. But it was the sense of unity that brought the greatest change. Neighbors who once quarreled over small matters now worked together, their hearts bound by the common understanding that truth and loyalty were the foundations of their survival and success. Even the elders, once skeptical of the moonstone's power and the prophecy, acknowledged that their village had entered a new era of growth and harmony. They saw the children growing up with the knowledge of the lessons learned from the events that had unfolded, lessons of integrity, honor, and community. Yet, despite the outward harmony, Layla never forgot the dark days of betrayal that had almost torn her world apart. Late at night, when the village was still, she would reflect on the journey she had taken, how a woman's search for love and leadership had nearly brought ruin to the very people she sought to protect. The journey had not been easy, but it had been transformative. In her heart, she knew that her trials had forged a bond with her son that would last a lifetime, and that Omar, with his understanding of both the darkness and light, would be the wise ruler the village needed. One evening, as the sun began to set over the village, casting a golden glow over the land, Layla took Omar's hand and led him to the baobab tree where the elders once gathered to make their decisions. The tree, now a symbol of unity and strength, had stood through the trials and triumphs of the village. Layla paused beneath its branches and looked at Omar with pride. "Omar," she said softly, "the road ahead will not always be smooth. You will face challenges, and there will be times when others try to deceive you or lead you astray. But remember, the truth is always with you. It lives in your heart, in the earth beneath your feet, and in the people who trust you." Omar, now a young boy, looked up at his mother, his eyes reflecting the same wisdom that had once been in Layla's own. "I will, mother," he replied, his voice filled with resolve. "I will always lead with truth, and with the knowledge that our people are the heart of this village." Layla smiled, her heart full. She knew that no matter where life would take them, her son would be ready. He had inherited not just her strength, but also the lessons of the past, lessons of betrayal, redemption, and, most importantly, the enduring power of truth. As the village celebrated under the stars that night, Layla stood with Maisie by her side, her heart at peace. They had come through the storm together, stronger and wiser, and now, as the village moved into a new chapter, they were united in their commitment to build a future filled with hope, prosperity, and the wisdom of the ancestors. For Layla, Maisie, and Omar, the story of their village was far from over. The road ahead was still unfolding, and while they could not predict what challenges would come, they knew they would face them together, guided by the unwavering light of truth, love, and the unbreakable bond of family. And in the end, they understood that no matter what happened, the truth would always set them free. Sure, here's your line. Translate it into natural and engaging English. For your video, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from